but he was like telling me that he drove past a house that he doesn't usually drive past on his way home from work in a different neighborhood. And he was like, I slowed down for some reason, and I saw this family through the window just eating dinner together. And I'm gonna cry now. But he was like, that changed his life, just seeing a family like enjoying themselves. He was like, we screwed up. Like, there's something out there that is good. We didn't even know that that was really Jesus yet.
Thank you so much for being here today for a new episode of the Raised and Redeemed podcast. Today we're with Erika MacDougall, the founder. MacDougall.
Yeah, it's a weird last name. No one can say it right.
No, thank you for correcting me.
Yeah.
Erika MacDougall, she's the founder of Shire Skincare. And this is actually perfect timing. I was telling you guys that we were going to have Erika on the show. She's an ex-occultist and theistic Satanist, which I'm so excited to just ask you what all of that means and what that looked like.
It's a lot.
Yes, and I purposefully didn't watch any of your other interviews yet because I want to hear it for the first time. But I also don't want to ask you the same things that maybe you've like shared endlessly if those interviews are out there. So I guess we'll see just how this unravels. But I am curious about like the specific religious practices and what those sort of practices look like. To now, you are an Orthodox Christian and you have, I'm pretty sure Shire Skincare it's like an Orthodox Christian company.
It is.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so it's cool because you've done other interviews, but not always with Orthodox hosts. So we can focus on the Orthodox.
I've never talked to anyone who also was involved in the New Age. Like, this is a first. Like, most people I talk to are like foreigners to this concept. So,
oh my gosh,
it's interesting to talk to you about it and see what like overlap there was between our paths.
Yes, because I was more of like I lived in Arizona and I got into the New Age through yoga and the healing arts and like the aesthetic and like, you know, I went from like party girl to New Age spirituality. Whereas it feels like I did listen just a little bit to your story. I heard like 8 minutes about your childhood.
Yeah.
And then I didn't hear anything else.
Yeah.
How like the darkness was like the demons were hunting you from childhood. So I'm curious, will you take us back to like how you first got into Satanism and like what that meant for you then? Like, did you know you were a Satanist? Because a lot of times people are Satanists and like
they don't know.
And they don't even know. So what did that look like for you?
So there was a transitional period, right? Between knowing the things that I knew, having known that demons are real and basically working with them from a young age up until I'd say when I went to art college, that's when I realized that I was actually doing occultism, if that makes sense. Like, I honestly thought that because I didn't learn it from a book, I learned it directly from demonic sources. Like, I didn't know there were names for these things. I didn't try to Google it. Like, I literally thought this was just this weird thing that only I knew about. So when I went to art school, I remember going to the library. I was kind of getting involved in weirder and weirder stuff just from going to art school. It was like there was a slippery slope there. And I remember going to the library and I was doing research on it was the 7 deadly sins. We were like in some literature class where like I was researching Dante and like there was something about hell that was just like, this is extremely familiar. Like, I know what this is. So I went to the library, the school library, and in the way back, like the lights weren't even on in the way back of the library. It was like no one goes back there, dusty old books. And I took out this book that was literally the last book on the last shelf. And it was called The Black Arts by Richard, I think you pronounce his name Cavendish. So I just like pick up this little blue book for whatever reason, and I'm looking through it, and it's literally showing me like diagrams of these sigils and all these things that like, I'm like, oh, like I know this. I've done all this. Because it's like basically a report on occultism and different forms of esoteric practices. So once I realized after reading that book and I checked it out and I was like, oh my God, like there's a word for these things. That's when I realized like, oh yeah, I've been doing this my whole life. And at that point I was like, I think I am a Satanist because obviously I've been doing this. I just didn't call myself that because I didn't know that was a term for it. So at that point, that's when all of that started like infiltrating my art even more. And that's when I started calling myself like a Satanist, and it became very quickly like an obsession.
Yeah.
There was really no turning back at that point. Like
I relate to that so much because
just hard. It was I went hard like immediately.
And like in your art and in your lifestyle both.
Yes. Because at that point, I think I met my husband right around that time. And obviously he wasn't like into Satanism, but he was his own, he had his own demons, if you know what I mean. So we kind of connected in the intensity of what we were both doing in different ways.
So you met him at that time in your life?
Yes.
Whoa.
Yeah. I met him on the way to get like a tattoo or something. We like stopped off at my friend's house before we went to go get tattooed by another mutual friend. So like we just kind of ran in the same circles, and people had warned me that he was like a bad guy and he's dangerous. And I'm like, ooh.
Yeah.
He was very nice to me, obviously, but he had that like little intrigue of like danger that I was like obviously drawn to. So it was kind of weird how that all worked out at the same time. And then we both came out of it at the same time, which is crazy.
You both came out of it at the same time. Oh my gosh. So I just started this like online community. I don't know, maybe you saw it, but girls are in there. Yes, they're sharing their testimony to coming to Orthodoxy. And there's so many of them that have been drawn to Orthodoxy that their spouses aren't yet. And it's something I didn't even think about as a pain point many women are experiencing right now.
Yeah.
So that's beautiful that you guys came at the same time.
Very lucky. Yeah.
Yeah. But I just want to go back real quick to finding that little blue book in the library at your college.
Yeah.
Because, girl, like, what the heck? Like, so many things are universal because it was like the same experience for me. I was just watching Rachel Wilson's podcast with Jonathan Pageau about.
I love her. I love them both, honestly. It was great to hear them each other.
I know. I want to meet, like, either, like, let's collaborate. I would love that. But she was talking about, this episode was called how feminism is the political arm of witchcraft.
Yep.
And she was kind of talking about how all of this, like, got started and the roots of stuff. And she brought up this book by Sandra Harding about feminist perspectives on history, epistemology, metaphysics, all this. Basically, that book was my gateway into feminism.
Really?
Yes, I went to Indiana University. I worked in the library. I just stumbled upon this book in the library, just like your experience. And I remember reading it and I was like, oh my gosh, like, I think I reject the patriarchy. Yeah. I think I reject like everything Western civilization, the church, and this, this book. And that paired at the same time as I had started doing yoga. So the demons,
same.
I
started taking yoga classes at that time, which I don't think that's a coincidence.
No. Oh, like it's all interconnected. And the way they get us, the way it shows up so similarly is just, I had to point that out, like that's my weird relation to that.
Did you take yoga classes, or were you just doing it in your house?
I was broke, so I was mostly just doing it on YouTube.
Yeah, fair enough. I remember actually going to yoga classes because I didn't like understand that there were online things. This was a while ago. It was in like 2007 or something, a long time ago. And I remember going to like 4 classes because you like bought a card and it was like buy 4 classes, get the 5th free. And I was like, okay. So I went to the 4 classes, and then the 5th one, they were like, it was a totally different class. I don't know if I just took a different class and showed up at the wrong time. I have no idea. But they were doing like weird breath stuff. And they had brought in the weird statue. And I was like, completely different vibe, if you know what I mean. Like, it was automatically like this is clearly like a cult. Like, this is no longer just breathing and exercising and stretching to the left, stretching to the right. Like, it became pretty obvious that it was something different, that there was like a different level of yoga that I didn't know that. Like, I thought yoga was just like, I gained too much weight from eating too much spaghetti in college.
I
And I thought I
know.
was going to like lose some weight. And instead I was just like, I learned about all these connections between like the weird breath work and the things that I forget what they call them, but like the chants that you do in particular poses.
Yes.
And what those poses are called, they're all in like Sanskrit. And I'm like, oh, like,
yeah.
that's clearly not just like, this isn't an exercise class anymore.
I
And
know.
those
And
go over into the occult. And it was really obvious that like those people were doing things that they were white people. They weren't like Hindus, but they
yep,
were still practicing like Hindu worship, like devotional
exactly.
practices. So that was
Yeah, which all connects into the occult
yeah.
as well. Like, it's hard. I feel like people excuse things all the time because, oh, that's just a different culture's religion, so it's okay. And
Yeah.
they justify witchcraft and communion with demons just because another culture uh,
Yeah.
practices that religion.
Or you got to be respectful of it, or to call those gods demons is disrespectful.
Yeah.
Is it though? Like, I don't. Even when I was a Satanist, I knew that. No one tries to hide that. It's only when it's outside looking in that people are like, you can't call them those spirits demons. That's disrespectful. There's hundreds of Hindu gods. I'm like, they're literally all demons. Like, there was no issue between when I was practicing devotional theistic Satanism and I could just throw in practices from other religions, not Christianity, but you could read different like Jewish texts, you could read Islamic texts, you could like it was fine. Like, you could
Yeah.
worship Hindu gods. I did it. Like, there's no issue there because they're all demons, just with
Yeah.
a different name. Sometimes they use a different name.
100%. And I love that you brought that up because I never considered myself a Satanist. I never said that. But when I was in the New Age, which is like basically the same thing,
Yeah.
I was so fine with every other god, like
Yeah.
every other, like you said, you can read all the other world religions, just not Christianity. And
Yeah.
I had this disdain for Christians and Christianity.
Yeah.
I thought they were ignorant, brainwashed, oppressive. Like, I
Yeah.
just hated them.
That's
And I
what we
remember
were.
having these like panic attacks about Christians.
Jeez, really?
Yes. And now I look back and I'm like, those were demonic manifestations. Like,
Yeah.
dang, girl.
Yeah. Which is scary to think about, like different levels of possession that you see in your own past. Like, there was definitely some level of possession that was willing on my behalf. Like, I was like, go ahead, take the reins. Basically, that's how I made art. But there was also like some forcible possession that was
Mm,
really terrifying. And I remember my
can
husband seeing a few of those and being like, thinking that I'm having a seizure. Like, he thought I was having like a panic attack or a seizure, and like I couldn't see. Like, it was insane. Like, once you start to accept a certain level of like demonic influence, the influence goes to a different level, and then you're okay. You're willingly possessed when you're in a trance state, and you put yourself in that state willingly, and that's fine. And then there's like, it just keeps going. And when it keeps going, it's almost impossible to go back down that scale. Do you know what I
yeah.
mean? So it's literally like a miracle. Like, only God can help you down from there, from that
Yes.
level of possession. Like, you can't do it yourself. There's no other God to turn to. Like, those gods are demons. So good
No,
luck.
that's so
No one else can
important
help
to
you.
talk about because, like, the people who get into the yoga community, like,
Mhm.
that is where everything else started to be presented to me.
Yeah.
I went to yoga school, and then that's when I first started hearing about like white witchcraft circles and
Yeah.
um, tarot cards were coming into class, and people were mapping their natal charts, and all of these practices became my whole community. And at the same time, like, you're hearing about psychic gifts, like the
Yeah.
yoga school I went to had all these different classes and curriculums. And
Okay.
I just happened to focus on yoga, but other areas were like shamanism and Reiki. And
Yeah.
when you're in these communities, you start thinking about opening your psychic gifts,
Yeah.
is what you think.
Yeah.
And I remember doing, like, I want to talk about this possession and the levels of that because I remember opening myself up and wanting spirits to channel through me.
Yeah.
And so that I could tell people messages about their life, about their future. I thought I was helping people. I thought I was helping myself. Um, but then, like, you're so right, these levels, because like that's how it started, me sitting in my room thinking like, okay, like let me open myself as a channel. Let me eat like super vegan and like do the yoga and the right movement so I can open myself as a channel to the spirit realm.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, I'm having these, like, I had alien encounters and different like demonic possessions
Yeah.
that were getting more severe and more outside of my control
Mm-hmm.
as it
That's scary.
progressed.
That's scary when you realize that like you tried to open yourself up and then it worked. And now
Yeah.
there's no how do you close it? No one mentions that because everyone's just trying to like break down the door with like hallucinogens or like you said,
Yep.
yoga poses, more extreme like Kundalini yoga. Like you just try to step it up because you think that the door is so small that you got to like get it open to get your, like you said, like your psychic abilities open.
Yeah. Let
And
me open my third eye. Let me open
yeah,
my third eye. And then you open it and you're like, oh, shoot. Now
yeah, that was
dark
bad.
beings are
Yeah.
coming through and yeah, possession. So I guess, do you want to share some of your experiences with different things like that and like what your encounters were like?
Yeah, once I kind of agreed to work with certain demons, there was like a handful of them that I was like familiar with, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And once they started kind of introducing me into more advanced techniques and how to like open doors is pretty much what they told me. Like you can open a portal this way, you can open a portal this way. And once I started doing that regularly and integrating that into like my devotional practice, they just flooded in. And
Did you
different
know they were demons or did you think they were gods?
No, I knew there were demons.
You
To
knew
be
that.
fair,
Okay, so
they didn't try to trick me. I know
so
a lot of
that's
people.
what makes you like you were a Satanist because
Yeah.
you knew you were working with demons.
Hmm.
Okay. Got
I
it.
knew
Okay.
what I was doing was evil, but to that degree, I thought it was a I wouldn't say a good thing, but it was the goal, was to let more
Yeah.
evil into the world. I wasn't trying to like do self-help or like help other people. I was
Okay.
literally like trying to destroy this reality by
Why do you
bringing
think
more.
that is? Like what was the
That's a good
root?
question. Like, why would I do that? It's hard to even relate to myself back then because that's an insane thing to say. That's insane.
But
But the
thank you
whole
for being
point,
honest because I think that's
yeah.
the reality for, there's people that is their reality. So I would love to just understand that better.
And I worked with other people and we would coordinate across the world and we would coordinate times in which we would do these portal openings because certain parts of the world we believe were like, what's it called? Like the ones like the navel of the world, the different chakras on the planet.
Yeah.
So we were trying to open certain gateways so that they couldn't be closed because we knew there was a spiritual war. Like a lot of us as Christians, like we know that the world is evil and is fallen, but to Satanists, like it's not enough. Like we wanted, this sounds very dramatic, but like world domination. That was the whole goal, was that demons run the earth. There's no escaping it. There's no way to close these gates because we opened them and obviously we're not closing them. I don't even know if you can close them, to be honest. So
Wow.
we were all trying to let as many demons and just what we refer to as demonic energy into the world. Both by
Listen, at least it's honest.
I
At
know,
least it's,
I never thought I'd be telling anyone this because we all tried to hide it under, like, obviously we're not like telling normal people that we're doing this.
yeah,
We're
yeah, yeah,
not
yeah.
using our real names sometimes. Like we were there was like an underground operation, if that makes sense.
So
And
what
when
just
you
like
have,
makes me like so like embarrassed is the fact that I was
yeah,
a part of this too, trying to
yeah.
open the portals and the chakras on the earth as well. But I
Were
thought it
you?
was going to help people.
Yeah,
Yes, I was trying to open
they put
chakras
those
within
steps.
myself and the world because I
Mhm.
thought it would help the world wake up. And so that
Yes.
I think is like the new age deception is like
Yeah.
you think this is helping people, but we're just the idiots that are brainwashed by the demons to think that like
Yeah.
this is going to help the world. But at
Yeah.
least the Satanists are honest and like that's an honest
Lord
relationship
have
with the
mercy,
demon.
you're right.
Yeah.
We were both on the same team by accident. Like, if you had
Yes,
met me, we probably would have been like, "Oh, you're a child of light." Like, no. You know what I'm saying?
exactly.
Like, we thought that, like, the light workers, I don't know if you ever ran into them, but people who
Yes,
were
I
like,
was.
government workers, yeah, they're doing the same thing. They just don't know. And like, we used to kind of like make fun of those people, like not directly, not to them, but I was like, you know, they're not evil enough. Like, what are they even doing? Like,
girl, this is so funny. It's not funny, but it is, because here we are together now.
I know. That's why I'm like, only God can save both sides. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, only Christ could like make this happen where we're talking right now about this, because I don't really know anybody else who has left that world that would be open to talking about this. And understandably, I never thought I'd be talking about this, quite honestly, because for years I was just like so embarrassed and uncomfortable and like just an insane amount of shame for what I had done. Because when you realize that everything that I did for years and years and years, like decades, that was blaspheming God constantly.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that because I didn't know God was real and I didn't care. And I was just a little annoyed at Jesus for whatever reason. He's fake. I'm annoyed with him. Like, that was the extent of what I thought God was. And once you kind of realize what you did, you just feel bad because of how like God loves you so much. And I was still doing that. He was just watching me do that. Like, it seems insane that I'm allowed to be in his church now. Do you know what you know what I mean? Like, I don't think I deserve it, but I'll take it because please let me in.
I
like,
know.
I need it. Yeah.
We're his children. It's like this icon behind me. I think I can just take it off my wall. Of the prodigal son returning and the way he just embraces us.
Yeah.
And he's so happy we're home.
Yeah. It's like very joyful and almost sad at the same time because I'm like, oh, first of all, I can't believe we made it out. And second of all, like, there seems to be a lot of people still trapped in there. I talked to a lot of people who have made it out, luckily, but it's still like more people going in all the time, if that makes sense. Like, it's very alluring to feel like you're doing something that's hidden. I don't know if you felt the same way about the New Age, but like, there was this allure that like I was special because I can do these things. It wasn't like people literally called me like a saint, which I just eventually got used to after a few years because they were like, no one can do what you do. Like, you have powers you don't even understand. Like, I bought your artwork or your amulet and like all these things happened in my life. And I was like, I started realizing like that's not even me. Like, yes, I made them, but like the things you're experiencing are demons that made it to you because of me. And like,
exactly.
I hope people destroyed all those things because like I destroyed everything that I made. And I actually just got a text message this morning from someone who like found more of my art in their home and she's Orthodox now. And she was like, hey, I found this. Let's shred it.
Whoa.
So much because I don't have control over that. I don't know where my paintings are. I don't know where all the art that I made that I sent out for years and years is. Like, I can destroy what I had, but I know for a fact that there's still stuff out there. There's still stuff being sold on eBay, which is annoying. Like, I don't have control over that.
What I love about what you're sharing is a lot of people who don't understand the spiritual world, they don't understand how it's like I tell someone, you know, there's like demons that inspired this music and they don't understand like why some music is demonic versus like some is not.
Well, there are two ways to make art and music demonic. There's a direct way. Like, I would teach. So I did some album art for like heavy metal bands and punk bands. So I would sometimes have people who were interested in making a demonic album, but they didn't know how because they weren't occultists. They didn't have like a spiritual practice at all. They just wanted to put out evil art. They like wanted to be more evil. I don't know why. So they would contact me and I'd literally walk them through. I'd make them a sigil. I'd make them some artwork. I'd mail it to them. I'd write down like a few sentences of like a prayer basically to say, instruct them how to do basically a short ritual to activate the sigil and then put it either under like the drum kit or like put it inside a guitar, like hide it somewhere in the music equipment and then start writing music.
Whoa.
In the dark.
I never knew that.
In the dark or whatever. Spooky. So like that actually worked a few times. And so now they're sending me these albums that they're like, wow, this sold really well. Like, this sounds different. This doesn't even sound like the stuff that we usually write. like one of our bassists quit because he's weirded out by what's happening between us. I was like,
Whoa.
yeah, like it works. And
I never thought about that stuff. I just thought about the fact that like you're inviting spirits into your life to influence you, and so they
you can do that
influence
too.
whatever you create.
Yeah.
But I never thought about like all the ritualisticness of Satanism
Yeah.
and like a ritual such as that.
Yeah. So that's what I mean. Like there's two ways. There's like almost like you can either ritualize it or you can, what's the word I'm looking for? Like you can decide on like a cultural reference that is in itself demonic. So if you're, say, I don't know, like a black metal band, like you have a certain aesthetic and you have a certain way of making your lyrics and the things that, like, if you listen to it with headphones on, you start to feel weird.
Yeah.
Like you start to feel a little dizzy, you feel a little sick. Like those things in and of itself are a demonic influence. It's like a steady trickle instead of like a tsunami. You know what I mean? But it
Yeah.
still lets in these demonic forces that at first seem like just an aesthetic. And that's how you're kind of tricked. That's why I tell people, like, I don't listen to metal anymore. I don't really listen to heavy music anymore. Not because I don't like it, I don't think it sounds good, but because it's super obvious to me who's behind it. Like you can hear
Yeah.
it. You can see it. Like I'm not saying that all metal bands are evil because they're not. There's like Christian metal bands, but
Yeah.
it becomes pretty obvious once you get out of that world, like who inspired that? Why are you making that? And why does it make you feel weird? Like it changes your state of mind, right? Most music
Right.
does. When I listen to chants in the car, it makes me feel different. Not in a bad way, but like it does change your demeanor. And I
Yes.
think when you listen to a lot of music that, whether you know it or not, is demonically influenced, it like points you in a certain direction where you're going to accept certain things now. And that's actually what's dangerous. It's not just listening to the music, it's what happens after you listen to the music, when now all of a sudden you're accepting all of these things that you would normally pause a minute before you accept them.
Yeah, the influence of it. Like I was like a total Drake girl. But then I listened to Drake music and it gets me
Yeah, yeah.
thinking like lusty, and that's
Yeah.
not good, like that's in
Hmm.
its own way demonic influence.
Yeah, you're right. And I think that like you said, like the lust or like the sexual component, everyone just overlooks that because our entire culture is like overdoing it with the sexualization of literally everything. Like
Yeah.
there was so much that I didn't realize was lust. Like I didn't know the difference between like a healthy sexual life and like lust and pornography. Like
Hmm.
I thought you had to have the lust and like the pornographic like intensity to be sexual. Like I did not know that there was a wholesome, normal side to sexuality, even within marriage. Like I didn't know. No one ever
Yeah,
showed me that example. I didn't know.
I
So
know.
the demons are always going to bring out the sinful side of human interaction,
And
right?
like whatever God made as good, they're gonna try to get us to use it not for good.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, that can be really hard, especially when you've been programmed by the demonic side about these things. Like for me in sexuality, like being very promiscuous from a young age,
Mm-hmm.
and the music and the MTV
Mm-hmm.
shows and like the culture and all of this, my sexuality was very demonically
Yeah.
inspired and influenced, and then I'm still relearning that in a healthy way within
Yeah.
marriage, and
Yeah.
so is my husband. He had his own influences, and it's like now we have to reprogram our brains to see it in a godly way,
Yeah.
which is hard, and that is why God doesn't want us to do those things, because then it's like those stains of the
Yeah.
sin stay on
Yeah.
us, and it's like we're like consistently trying to like wash ourselves clean from that. But I think it takes like the action of actively reprogramming your mind,
Yeah.
which can take time, and
Yeah.
the memories are always there. And maybe the memories are part of our cross to carry.
Yeah.
Um, but I just had an Orthodox woman. She just got baptized into the faith, but she's older, and she was telling me whenever like memories pop up from her past and she like struggles with these memories, that she now takes it as an opportunity to ask God for forgiveness about that thing.
Yeah.
And so whenever like a dream happens or she finds herself daydreaming about something not good from the past,
Yeah.
that she counteracts that with asking for forgiveness about that
That's a great
thing.
way to deal with that.
Yeah.
Because if you fall into despair, which I did all the time when I was first an inquirer, like that's when the demons, they creep back in. Like they started attacking me more the more I was like riding the line between like depression and repentance. Like 'cause they kind of make you think that you can go ahead and sin, right? And God's not going to notice. And then when you do it or you start to do it, they're like, oh, you're not going to be forgiven.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, you
Saint
just ah!
Saint
Like your
John
mind's all set
Climacus
here, your
talks
message.
about that.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
that's like a rough place to be because you don't know how to escape that. And if you don't have like a spiritual father yet, or you're not really involved in the church too much yet, like you're not receiving the sacraments, like it's almost like a no man's land out there because
Yeah.
like you said, like I was literally allergic to wholesome things. Like I don't know how to explain it, but like I hated children. I couldn't stand the idea of like not like doing things that were like purposely violent and lustful. Like those things were what I knew and what I thought were good. Like I knew they were bad, but I wanted to be evil. So it's a different story. But the same thing, like if I encountered like a family that was like happy, I'd be like, "Ugh, disgusting."
Yeah.
And
Wow.
it's like,
Okay, what was your villain origin story?
dude, I don't even know. The demons just like gradually got to me to the point where I was, like I said, like I was allergic to anything wholesome. I thought it was corny. And it
Yeah.
wasn't even anything more complicated than that. Like I literally just thought it wasn't real. Like you're fooling yourself. Love isn't real. No one's coming to save you. God is a thing that people make up because they're scared to face reality. Children, why would you bring kids into this world? We're trying to destroy this world. Like all of that was like I said, it was gross to me. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's not rational. And I didn't even realize it at the time that that's the insane thing to say. And it's so crazy how all of that has flipped. I love babies. Like, I love when people have kids that I know. It's like the most
Yeah.
exciting thing. And like being in the church and seeing young families, like, dude, I almost cry like all the time because I'm like, this is the most beautiful thing I have ever experienced
Yeah.
in my life. Like,
I know what you mean.
and it's crazy to me
Yeah.
that was what disgusted me. And like basically me and my husband had to have a conversation when we first decided to try to go to church. Like we hadn't gone to church yet, but he was like telling me that he drove past a house that he doesn't usually drive past on his way home from work in a different neighborhood. And he was like, I slowed down for some reason and I saw this family through the window just eating dinner together. And I'm gonna cry now. But he was like, that changed his life, just seeing a family like enjoying themselves. He was like, we screwed up. Like
Mm.
there's something out there that is good. We didn't even know that that was really Jesus yet, but the fact that there's good in the world, like just slowing down and seeing a family eating together, like he was like, we made a mistake. Like
Oh man.
we could be parents. Like we could be blessed. And it was so weird to hear him talk like that because I know you don't know my husband, but he's a very intense guy. And like, that's not the way he talks at all. And to hear
Yeah.
him say that, I was scared because of how much I disliked myself and how much like I said, I was like allergic to wholesome things. So the idea of becoming a family and being whole was like, it made me sick. And I was actually mad at him for like a day. And he was like, "Shut up. Like, you're fine. Like, you can be a good mom. You're a good person inside. You've been misguided your whole life." And like I had never considered that deep down like I was still a human being, you know?
Whoa.
And
So
like that
God
didn't
just started moving in his heart.
I don't know who that family was that was sitting down to dinner, but God bless them for sitting down to dinner
Yeah.
because like you never know how much the way that you live can save somebody else. Like, you just don't know. Just existing in a wholesome, good way like literally can save other people. Like my son wouldn't exist if that family wasn't like sitting there eating dinner together on like a Tuesday night.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh my gosh. Yeah,
So
it's
I get
so
very
funny
emotional
because
about that.
one of my first times stepping into a church, and given it was a non-denominational church, but I remember stepping into this church, and this was when I was in the middle of my sins. Like I was in an adulterous relationship, I was a stripper, like all these things. But I'd seen a demon, and I was like, oh shoot, I need help. So
Yeah.
I had a Christian friend invite me to church, and I was like, okay, if I've tried everything else, I may as well try this. And I remember stepping in a church, and that was one of the first things I noticed too, was the happy families
Yeah.
standing beside each other. And I remember God started working in my heart through seeing family, that
Mm-hmm.
I wanted a family and I didn't want to break apart this family. And
Yeah.
like that was the first thing that started to melt the ice on my heart as well.
Beautiful. Yeah. That's crazy because
Family.
I see like people have told me, like new people that come to the church have like seen me and my son. My husband's like in the choir, so sometimes he's not with us. But my priest has been like, your son, he brings people here. Like people see that your son loves it here. He loves everybody here. Like my son will go around and like make people bring him around and like look at the icons. Like he's very interactive with everybody. And my priest multiple times have been like, people mention him when they start to become catechumens. They mention that the love of like seeing a child with his family loving God has made them want to join the church. So like it kind of blows my mind that like my son is making people turn to Christ just by existing with love in his heart. Like it's that simple.
I
And like
love that.
it's just so many things wouldn't have happened the way they happened. And like God's plan is perfect. And sometimes you don't see the fruits of that plan until way later, but he works through us in ways that like they don't always make sense, like I said, but if you just accept his love, it radiates to other people and you don't even know that you're doing it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. We talked about it before we started recording, how we both have 2.5-year-olds,
Yeah.
like almost 2.5.
Yeah.
And Erika has a little boy and I have a little girl. And yeah, Mila lately has started, one of her words for the past few weeks is family. And so she'll put like her little animals together. Like if it's a big pig and a smaller pig, she puts them together and she's like, family.
So
And then,
cute. That's the
and like,
cutest thing I've ever heard.
I know. And then we're out walking the other day with my in-laws, and there's this step or like this sidewalk that she's decided we all have to sit on whenever we go
Yeah.
past this like sidewalk. I don't know, 2-year-old things. So we're
Mhm.
all sitting there and she makes everybody sit. Grandpa, grandma, me, my husband, and then even our dog. She made him sit beside me, and then she sat beside the dog, and she like looked out at us as she just lined us up, and she goes, "Family."
Oh,
And I'm like, stop. Just these wholesome things that just
yeah.
bring, it's like the glory of God. It's like these little tastes and glimpses of
Yeah.
heaven we get in having a family.
Yeah. And I think that's why the demons kept me from that for so long. Like now I realize it. Now I realize why that was a source of disgust for me. Because if I had realized how awesome it is to be a mom, like, dude, I'd have 12 kids by now. Like,
I
I'm not
know.
even joking. But I'm like 40. So, like, we waited way too long. And, like, the doctors were like, I don't know if it'll happen because you're older. And I was like, okay.
Mm.
So basically, we just prayed every single day. And
You
we had to.
literally look like you're in your 20s. That's crazy.
Thank
You're
you.
40? What? I would
Yeah.
never
Almost
guess.
41. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you look
So,
great.
I don't know. There are things that God hasn't planned or hasn't store for store for you that you don't know until you surrender. You have no idea.
Yeah. Okay. Look at this strawberry. This is a strawberry water bottle, and you have a strawberry coffee
My
cup.
son loves strawberries. We grow strawberries, and like after this is how much I'm obsessed with my beautiful son, is that like he loves berries so much. I'm like, now I love berries. I have a whole strawberry kitchen. Like I love him so much. And having the love of a child, it kind of made me realize like a month after he was born, like, is this how God feels about people?
Mm.
Because I had never considered the intensity of love for children. Like, I didn't know. I was actually really worried when I was pregnant that I would not be able to bond with a child, that I would have like issues with love, basically, because I'd never tried it before. And man, the opposite is true. Like, it just made me
Yeah.
realize like how much God loves us. And like, if he loves us more than I love my son, like, that's insane, because
Yeah.
I don't know how that's possible, but it is.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have a headache from smiling so much about talking about our babies. Like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh. So, okay, so your husband had this moment
Uh-huh.
and came home and told you, we messed up. Is that when you started reading the Bible? Was after that? Or then what was that
That was like a
progression?
week. That was like a week after it. Okay, I started reading the Bible because I was actually doing a spell that required me to read the Psalms. So,
Stop.
yeah, it's called
Okay.
Solomonic magic. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that. They say
No.
it's medieval. I think it's probably later than that, but it involves it's like kind of it's not really Christian, but it's kind of Christian. So, you're supposed to read Psalms that are associated with whatever planetary energy you're trying to release. So in making an amulet, I was required, like, someone hired me to do this. So it was work, essentially.
Yeah.
And I had a Bible that I got like out of the trash, and I didn't even know it was I knew it was a Bible, but I wasn't using it. It was like using it as a piece of furniture to like keep my TV up or my laptop up or something. And after reading that, the Psalms are right in the middle. And it's a huge Bible. It's like from the 1800s. It's like seriously like 5 inches thick, and it's in a weird font. So like, I remember just like kind of getting annoyed because everything's in the Roman numerals. So to find the Psalms that are right, I had to like flip through, flip back, like look up
Mm.
what is 60 in Roman numerals or whatever. Um, and then after I did that for a few days, I just like turned to the New Testament for whatever reason, just because I didn't know. I was kind of obsessed with like old books. So it never occurred to me like that I don't know much about the Bible, because I knew so much about other
Mm.
sacred texts. I had done so much research, and I was actually researching for a book I was writing about Genesis. And so I had read Genesis, but I didn't know where the New Testament started. So out of curiosity, I just flipped to the New Testament and I
Mm.
read it. And yeah, that's when I kind of like the demons got mad at me, and everything kind of fell apart at that point, because I hadn't quite realized it yet consciously, but I had stumbled upon something that I was never supposed to read. I was never, never, never supposed to read it. And they were pretty upfront about that. And I guess I just didn't listen. I guess I was
Wow.
disobedient. And yeah, I started reading the Gospel of Matthew, realized that it's not evil. There's nothing in it that told me that like I have to do anything. It wasn't a tool for
Mm.
control like they told me. And at that point, I was like, dude, am I being lied to? And I got like almost mad at the demons. And they were mad at me, but I was equally as annoyed with them, to be honest. And so that week was a very weird week, because my entire home, I don't know how my husband lived in this apartment, but the entire home was a studio, like, so a satanic art studio, a tattoo studio, and then a separate like ritual chamber, which I think I mentioned to you became really moldy.
Yes.
So at that point, like, I tore down the ritual chamber because I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. If you're lying to me, I'm not doing this anymore. And I ripped down there was like black silk everywhere over the entire room. And I ripped it down, and there was mold, black mold everywhere, like ceiling, walls, window, everywhere. And I was like, dude, this is bad. And it kind of snapped me out of it to see the physical manifestation of evil in my home. I had also been like, I used a lot of menstrual blood and just like blood. I cut myself a lot to use blood in my paintings and for the altars.
Wow.
And I realized how much it smelled. Like, the smell hit me for the first time. And I was like,
Mm.
I did a bunch of weird things that, like, I don't know how someone would live with. Like I said, I don't know how my husband lived with that, because I was like growing flies. I would like purposely. This is so gross. I'm just being honest about how gross this was. I would grow maggots in my own blood, and then they would become flies, and then the flies would like buzz around the altar, and that was like part of what I needed for my
What?
devotional practice. It was like
I
blood
hate
flies.
flies.
Yeah, they're disgusting. But that's what I mean. Like, I was trying to Like, I was as gross as it could be. Because if the demons allowed me to realize that cleanliness was good, that love was real, and that, like, wholesome things are actually good for you, like, the whole plan would have gone bad. So, yeah, once I realized the physicality of what I had done, like, I pulled way back, way back. I was telling my husband, like, we need to move. Like, I can't live here anymore. This is bad. Like, I don't know what to do about realizing that God is real, but I know I can't do this. So I was kind of like, well, let's keep the tarot cards, but let's get rid of all the mold and the blood. Like, let's just tone it down on that. And he was the one that was like, you're really just going to do tarot cards now? Like, that doesn't even make sense. You can't just go from satanic person to like, oh, you just do new age stuff. He was like, no, he was not letting me do that, thank God. And he was like,
was corny?
Church. Because it was corny? Because there's no way you can just like pull back a little bit. He's a very like, we're both kind of all or nothing people. And I think he was surprised at hearing me say like, I'll just do a little tarot. I'll just keep some of these books that are, because I had a huge book collection, like thousands of books. It was a real problem. We didn't have room for all those books. And yeah, at some point he was just like, had to get real with me and was like, you need to stop and like turn around. Like he was telling me what repentance was without really knowing it. Right? He wasn't just like, you don't just drop Satanism and then become a normal person. Because obviously the demons are like hurting you. Like I was sick. I had like flu-like symptoms for almost a month and it wasn't going away. And I didn't know what to do because like I said, it was in like no man's land.
Yeah.
Where I was rejecting the demons, but I didn't know how to accept Christ yet. So there was this like, I don't know what to do because now they've turned against me and I have no idea what's happening. And that's when
you couldn't fight them on your own.
And thank God I thought to put the icons up. I didn't know they were Orthodox icons. I just found them.
Wait, how did you get icons?
I just found them in a thrift store. I thought they were cool. I had them in a box in the corner. And like they didn't bother the demons because I wasn't using them. They were just like around. So once we smashed all the altars. It took a long time to get rid of everything. And I remember removing one of the main altars that I had that was like to my patron demon that I was the closest with. And
patron demon?
Yeah.
I never heard of that concept either.
Yeah. So I'm not sure if other people had them, but I know cults have like a specific demon that they work with that are like a go-between, if that makes sense. Like they're kind of like,
well, you know what? You're like putting words to what I feel like were my experience without knowing, because there was like one major like sexual angry beast demon I had to like get away from at the end. Yeah. And so maybe that was my patron demon. I just didn't know. I didn't have that word.
They didn't tell you that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So once I tried separating myself from that particular demon, it was really hard because it's almost like I had a period of mourning between, it's like, I don't know if you've ever been in an abusive relationship, but that's pretty much what it feels like. Like you love this person, you don't know yourself without this person, but now you know you can't be with them. So you're like, I know what I'm doing is right, and I know I have to do this, but it feels like I'm dying in leaving this person. And that's what it felt like to try to pull back from the deep. Like I have him tattooed on me. Like I have multiple tattoos of this demon. So it's hard to explain how disconnecting from something that is so integral to who you think you are, right?
I'm so glad you're saying
that
this.
Identity and trying to place that identity closer to Christ was a real struggle because I didn't know how to do it yet. And like I said, I destroyed everything that I had that represented evil in my home, which was literally everything I owned. Like moving was very easy after that because I didn't have anything. Like we had some furniture and that was it.
I'm just thinking of so many things like in the Bible when the fallen angels, or this is the book of Enoch that's not in it's not accepted canon, but the fallen angels taking the human women as wives. Did you feel like that was kind of...
Yeah.
Me too.
I also talked to other women. So there was a lot of male Satanists that I work with, but they're the women who are into like the dark side, like what we refer to the left-hand path, like the sinister arts, those women are used so much, you have no idea. Like some of them would just disappear because they were being used by both the demons and by men who were other Satanists who they don't have like the ability to do certain rituals and to do certain things. Only women do. And so like the demons prefer women. They prefer to use women and to use
because the
them.
blood, right?
Yeah. It's our ability to create life that they need to invert. So that's why, like, people don't believe that you can be sexually assaulted by a demon. That's nonsense. Like, you absolutely can be. And I know people who have been assaulted. And it's a really, like, how do you explain that to somebody who doesn't believe in the spirit world that you've been raped, essentially? Is
Can I
horrible.
tell you, like, that's what I think I'm still healing from?
Yeah.
And when
I
I
believe
share
that.
about healing, like, on my
Yeah.
platforms, a lot of people would think, like, oh, it's from the child abuse trauma. No, it's from, like you said, getting out of this toxic relationship with a demon.
Mm-hmm.
And I experienced, like, everything you're talking about, and I feel like that is what I'm still healing from, and, like, sometimes he still tries to lure me back in,
Yeah.
be it through a Drake song,
Yeah.
be it through a memory,
Yeah.
like, and I feel like he'll never stop fighting to come
Probably
back.
not. And that's the terrifying part is how persistent the demons are. They have nothing else to do. They don't eat, they don't sleep. They just do this. Like they just want to get at you. Seriously, like I don't think people realize how motivated they are to destroy you. And like
Yeah.
realizing that the only weapon we have is Christ. Like it is the only weapon we have against these demons. And that's why I think converts who've experienced the occult in any capacity, like we have a tendency to have a little more urgency in our need to cling to Christ
Yeah.
and be able to take the sacraments, because if you grow up cradle Orthodox, like I'm kind of jealous of you because you don't know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? Like there's not this, I wouldn't say it's just being zealous, but I'd say it's like you need healing in a way that the average person doesn't. And being able to
Yes.
enter the church is like your last chance. It's the only chance that you have. And that's kind of hard to say. Like, it's not just a religion for me. Like, being able to realize that when I put those icons up, that the demons were like, "Ugh," like they like had a physical reaction that I could sense. And they went nuts. It's like having a dog with a dog whistle. Like, they can't stand it. And
Yeah.
to me, like, I know a lot of people who come from like a Protestant background and they were Christians and they just have kind of an issue with icons. And like, I have the opposite. Like, I understand the intensity of demonic art and music, and then that makes me, thank God, very attuned to the fact that icons are in and of themselves, like they saved my life in a way that
Yes.
I can't even explain to you. Like no one has to convince me that venerating icons is good,
Yeah.
because once I put up an icon of Christ and I looked him in the eyes for the first time, like my life was different, period. And I remember being an artist and like people wanted me to do like reproductions of paintings that were of Christ, suffering, of course. No one wanted me to do like a glorious painting of Jesus, but there were a few people where I tried to make these like almost like Gnostic style depictions of Christ, but his eyes, the demons were like hard no on eye contact from Jesus. I could paint him with a rope around his neck, bleeding, like his eyes blacked out, so he looked creepy, but I wasn't ever allowed to paint him as he truly is. And then I realized why, because icons allow you to make mutual eye contact with God, and that is powerful in and of itself. Like, there's nothing better than that.
Just
Exactly.
for the viewers.
Exactly. It's so powerful. Like, it literally changed my life. And like I said, I didn't even know that these were Orthodox depictions. I thought they were just random religious art. And once I realized after going to church, I saw the same icons on the wall, and it just like clicked to me that like this is safe here. Like, I should have been doing this the whole time. If the demons had let me know that all of the devotional practices that they were forcing me to do were inversions of orthodoxy, I probably would have figured out what orthodoxy is a little earlier, because all of it is just an inversion. They know that orthodoxy is the true faith. They know that Christ resides in his church. So they try to keep you as far away from there as possible.
Whoa. Because if they're inverting everything from the truth, and they have all these rituals and counterfeits, it's like obviously going to a church with the full sacraments and the fullness of truth. Like, obviously that's why it's so important.
If you put 2 and 2 together and realize that what existed first, really, the inversion or the truth? Because the demons can't make anything new. That's what I realized. That's why they needed me so badly, because they can't make anything. They need you to make like the art and the music and like the portals to hell that can allow them to manifest more effectively in our material world. So they need you. And if you know that what you're doing is an inversion and not a creation of their own, like, then you know that you're valuable. That's how I figured out that, like, oh, I was made in the image of God. Didn't know that. Didn't know that at all. Like, I was very misanthropic. I thought human beings were evil and they need to be destroyed, and there's just a plague on the world and we're destroying the earth and all these things. Like, you think that they're like political or ideologies, but those are all demonic extensions of what they want for the world.
That's why I loved that Jonathan Pageau and Rachel Wilson just did that combo. Feminism being the political arm of witchcraft. And like, the feminine, exactly. Like, that's the political worldly side, but they don't realize the spiritual reality behind those things. Most people don't.
Some of them do. Like, I knew most Satanists that I knew were like radical feminists. They may have not called themselves that, but they wanted to be dominated by women. I don't know if that was a fetish that they all had or what, but like, they want women on top, men on bottom. Like, they want the patriarchy to be inverted. And that's a perfect way to destroy the very concept of the church, right? Because our church is a patriarchal system, right? Like, I have a spiritual father. Like, they want to invert it so that the father is bad. The father's an idiot. You don't need him, right? The mother is elevated to this like pseudo goddess, and like, really the only thing they say, it's human rights and we're fighting for our rights. But you ever notice that the only rights they want is to like kill their kids? Like, that's the only thing that I think Rachel even said that. And
that's what Rachel said. That's like when she like looked at the stats, all the stats on this stuff, like that's the main right they're fighting for.
Yes. And that's not ironic, and that's not a coincidence, because I have written so much and I did so much obsessive research into human sacrifice, because that's what the demons wanted. They wanted us to get back to the point where we're basically Aztecs again, and we have like a martial law, right? We have demonic laws, and we are required to make blood sacrifices. Like, they wanted it to be accepted worldwide. And at the time when I'm doing this research, I'm like, man, I wish I lived there. Like, I would have been the one sacrificing people at the top of this temple. But after doing more and more research, I realized how much more they wanted children to be sacrificed. And if you look at the numbers for like how often we're aborting our own children worldwide, it's like, it makes the Aztecs look like angels. Like, it pales in comparison to what they did. And we always think of that as like very brutal, and it is, but they needed like a beating heart. It was the flow of blood through the body that was the offering. It wasn't just, oh, you kill people, right? And abortion does the same thing. It literally, like, you inject something into a baby's heart that stops their heart. Like, you're sacrificing.
It's just happening in a doctor's office, so people don't think it's the same sacrifice.
Yes. It's just, just like Satanism and the New Age are essentially the same, just with different gloss over it. Abortion is the same exact thing. Trust me, as someone who has spoken to demons about this, it's the same thing. It's just a clinical word for it, and people say that it's healthcare. Because I'm sure the Aztecs thought the same thing. This is part of our system. This is how we grow rice or corn or whatever we need. This is how we keep the sun. They literally thought that the sun would not come up if they didn't do this. So hearing women say, my life is over if I don't do this, is the same exact principle. Like, it's the same. The demons are telling them the same things.
Yeah.
It's just a different time period, so it looks different.
It's like a lot to like think on. But I'm glad you brought that up and made all those connections, because
it's not easy for
so
people
important.
to hear. And like, I understand that. I only know about this because of my past. Like, I probably wouldn't be as boldly pro-life as I am now if I didn't know about this firsthand.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people just being online as like a pro-life Orthodox Christian business, like, I get hate messages and threats constantly from these people. And I'm like, it doesn't bother me. You sound like the demons. Like, you're saying
I know what this is.
that a demon that I know has said to me. So I'm not worried about you. Well, I mean, I'm worried about you, but I'm not worried that you can change my mind or harm me in any way, because I've been through it already. This is just a rehashing of how the demons want people to accept evil in their life and push it on other people too.
Yeah. No, thank you
I
for
know,
sharing.
it's heavy.
It's
a very heavy subject. And I wasn't comfortable ever talking about this because it's very off-putting to people. And I understand that, like, maybe it's not good for business, but I don't really care.
No.
Like, I donate 10% of the proceeds from my business to a pro-life organization that helps women out of that mindset. And a lot of women are like kind of forced into this. Like, they don't even want abortions, but like our entire culture is like, just do it. If you don't have this, if you don't have this, if you don't have this, then kill your kid.
Yeah.
Like, just go through with they call it a procedure, right? A lot of women don't want that. They just don't have support. So an organization that actually helps women have options, because people say
that organization?
It's called Let Them Live.
Okay.
So obviously the owners are Christians, but they're not out there like telling people that they're being sinful. They're literally just giving them fundraising. So like, if you are homeless and you're pregnant and your boyfriend is threatening to leave you if you have this baby, which happens a lot, no one's going to tell you that you're terrible. How much money do you need? You need 35 grand? Let's get you 35 grand.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Like, if that's what it takes to put you in an apartment, get you a new job, get you a car, get you a laptop so you can work from home so you can be with your baby, like, let's do that. Because that's really what women need. They need actual material and spiritual support. Because that's what's going to change. That's what's going to change. Like, if the demons are going to pull you in one direction, we need good people pulling back in the other direction and to stand up for life itself. Because not only is the child's life at risk, but that mom is not going to easily recover from that either. Like, the trauma of abortion is real. And I don't think anyone wants to talk about that either. Mm-hmm. How much it hurts women to be lied to.
And then they live with that pain forever.
Yeah, we don't tell them the truth. We just say clump of cells. That's biologically inaccurate. And I don't know why I still hear that like 5 times a day on the internet. I'm like, okay, that's nuts. That's like what a demon would say to dehumanize you, to get 100%. You to feel okay with that.
100%. So I'm going to look them up, Let Them Live.
Yeah, they're a great organization. They really are.
I'll look into, because I've wanted to find a way to be more involved in those ways. So that could be something I donate. Not that I don't make like much money. I don't really have a business yet, but
anything helps. Honestly, anything helps. And I think just being supportive in any capacity towards women who want to choose life, but like I said, they feel forced into doing the opposite. Like, we can actually change people's lives. And I know that, like, maybe skincare doesn't seem like it's the most life-changing thing, but when you add that in as like a mission to, like, if I make a certain amount of money every month, dude, we're saving lives. Like, that's crazy to me that I went from cursing people all the time and like trying to hurt people to like, we just save, like, if you're on my email list, like you've gotten updates to be like, hey, this is what the baby looks like now. Like, look at this mom
I
and baby.
love
Like, I
that.
know you just bought a moisturizer, but like you just helped save this baby's life. Like every
I
life is
love that.
precious. Yeah. And
Mm.
like I said, I know, like I used to hate babies, so it's like a crazy turnaround that I am now like trying to save them from the evil things that I used to think were good.
Erika, are we doing this?
Yes.
I'm gonna partner with them too somehow.
Me
You've
too.
influenced me.
I'll send you some information. They're great.
Okay. I love that. So, okay, just kind of going back, so like you have these icons in your home. When did you start going to an Orthodox church after that?
It was not long. It was a few weeks. So I always talk about my friend Rachel. I hope she sees this and knows how obsessed I am with her, as I love her so much. So we were friends. We were like internet friends when I was a Satanist. So like, she's so sweet, but like, I don't know why she liked me at the time, but she was the only Christian I knew, period. So
Whoa.
when I was like in the process of, I deleted my Instagram, deleted my Facebook, deleted my website that had all my art on it, I reached out to her and was like, hey, I'm deleting everything. I'm going to disappear. I'm going to die for a while. Give me your number. Give me your email address so I can contact you. And she was like, sure, girl. Like, give it to me. And it took me maybe another week to be like, email her and be like, so I found out, I literally was like, so Christ is real. What do I do? Please help. Send help. And she was I think she was still getting her master's in theology. And she wasn't Orthodox at the time. I think she was going to like a Baptist church. And she was like, if you want to find the true faith, like it's still around, I guess. And it's called Eastern Orthodoxy. And she was like, I would go to it if I could. I'm too involved with my church. I can't right now. But she was like, let's help you find like a church nearby who speaks English. So she just helped me, like, I guess you can just Google churches near me. It had never occurred to me that you just, where's an Orthodox church? And the closest one was like a Greek Orthodox mission, but they were like never open. They don't really do a lot there. And I'm not even sure if it's in English. So we just looked for the closest OCA church, which is like, it's about an hour away. And that's our parish. We just started going, like maybe,
Whoa.
it was maybe a month because we watched online because we like live stream everything. So we watched liturgy a few times. And so I kind of knew what it looked like. But you can only it's only like filmed in a certain area. It's not like the whole church. So when I actually went there and walked into church for like a Vespers service the first time, I was like, oh, there are like 100 icons here. Like it was very intense to me because I had realized that I wanted to live this life that I obviously made it satanic, but like I wanted to have basically like a monastery almost. Like I wanted to have other artists living in this spot and we could all just like do our religious satanic art. We could kind of like sell it to make money to pay for the land so that we can do this. We can just have basically nuns, satanic nuns around. So I had been describing how to make sacred art and like how to live this lifestyle, and just trying to piece together what this was. Turns out it's just orthodoxy.
Oh
And
my
I didn't know that it was
gosh.
like a whole just life I was allowed to live.
It
So
already existed.
yes. And I had thought about it and thought I came up with this concept, but it was just like an inversion of orthodoxy. And once I stepped into that church, saw all those icons. I know the icons are like kind of a stumbling block for some people who come
Some
from
people,
other faiths, but like the opposite was true for me. And once I looked at all these icons and I was kind of obsessed with like making portraits when I was a painter. And my husband would be like, how many faces do we need in this house? That's enough for the portraits, lady. But walking into the Orthodox church and be like, there's literally portraits everywhere. This is great. Like,
That's so
it
funny.
was exactly what I had like fantasized about, but it was the right way to do it, if that makes sense. So basically I just found the church because my friend Rachel helped me Google it.
Oh
And
my gosh.
I was so nervous about going because my husband was kind of like, what about Catholicism? What do we do if we pick the wrong faith? Like he was like, I don't know how to choose a church. How do we know if it feels good? Like And I was the one that was like, yes. We are coming back here. Like, everyone was nice to us. And I was a little confused because people were like, stay for coffee hour. And me and my husband were too nervous. I was like, no, I gotta go. Like, I don't know how I'm gonna explain myself, because there was no that had tattoos. There are people in our church with tattoos now, but I was definitely like the first one that was like looking like a psycho in there. And I was just really nervous about like the social acceptance. But I really shouldn't have been, because everyone at our parish is like super nice. No one gives me no one's mentioned it. And that's funny, because if like being online, like a lot of people are like, why don't you get all your tattoos removed if you're really Christian? Like, I don't think
bro, give me the thousands and thousands of dollars it'll take to do that.
It won't even work. That's the thing. Like, even with $50,000, like I was a tattoo artist too. So like a lot of my tattoos are like trades of like my friends. So me and my friends have very similar styles. It's all very heavy black work. Like, all of this is very heavy. Like, I don't have a ton of color. And the stuff that I do have that was colored has faded anyway. So like, in order to look like a normal person, like, I'd have to get a skin graft. Like, there is no way to actually get all of this off.
People that say that just tick me off, because they don't understand what would go into it. Like,
I think they think that you just go and you're like, zap, 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 zap.
Yep.
Good, perfect, good to go.
Yeah.
No, it can take weeks, and it doesn't even look good. It looks like just a scar with like some brown in it. Like, it doesn't look like fresh skin. So, like I said, not a single person at my church, except for my friend's little boy, has been like, why you got scary things on your hands? I don't know. I was a weird person before you met me, okay? I don't know. Don't ask me this question.
It's so
I don't know
funny.
how I can answer that.
Yeah, just the wholesomeness of kids and their questions. Oh my gosh, Erika. Well, I just loved...
scares, but the internet.
Yeah, exactly. People are the worst on the internet. Like, in real life, nobody's ever said anything like that to me either. Yeah. So, well, I just love this conversation. I really want to take a picture of us, but I'll close out first, but your website to support your skincare line, it's shireskincare.com.
It is, yeah.
shireskincare.com. And I'll link everything in the description below, but this conversation was such a blessing. I feel like less alone in the world knowing that you're out there.
Yeah. I've done it worse. Whatever you've done, I've done it worse.
Oh my gosh. And just like the experiences, like putting words to some of these things that I know a lot of the listeners have experienced things like this as well. And sometimes just getting the words to understand that better, it helps us continue to process.
We're like, this is very relatable. And I'm like, are you okay? If you relate to me, like, I'm going to pray for you, because that's worrying. It's worrying to me. But there are a ton of people coming from the Orthodox, or coming from the occult or New Age, or even just paganism, into Orthodoxy. And like, maybe that's just a recent occurrence. I didn't know Orthodoxy was like an online thing when I first started going to church, because people accuse me of like, oh, it's just the trend. I'm like, I had no idea until like 6 months ago that this was a trend whatsoever. I didn't know. And
I know, me neither.
There seems to be a lot of like assuming that there are like, that it's trendy that people are coming to the church. And like, dude, if that's a trend, thank God. Like, good, because it's the only chance that we have at healing, right?
Exactly.
Like, the only way. You can try to heal with other ways, and you're gonna have to end up here or nowhere at all.
Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of the Raised and Redeemed podcast with Erika MacDougall. This was truly my pleasure to have this conversation and learn more about her story from the occult to Orthodox Christianity. There's so much depth in there, so much I'm still processing. So we're going to have a little bit of an extended conversation on my YouTube membership, where we just talk about how we're growing in our prayer life as well. So if you are interested to hear a little bit more, be sure to join us on the YouTube membership. And next week, I will be having an interview with Father Philip. We'll be doing a little bit of another Orthodox Church tour, so be sure to check that out on the YouTube channel as well, and subscribe so you don't miss it. Okay, I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye for now.